I think I'm going to start this off, and since Steve, you are the newcomer here on our Letting It All Hang Out episodes, I was hoping maybe you'd take a minute or two and kind of give us a little background about what you do, where you're coming from, where you're from, and a little bit about your what you're doing.
Well, thanks for that fast service. Yes, good evening, everyone. Nice to meet you. Nice to be here. People off my list, hi guys, you'll know me anyway. Father of four. Happily married for 26 years. 2 kids have up and left home, and 2 kids are just about to. So quite excited about that. I was the son of a research chemist, and my dad's attitude to life had always been work hard, keep your head down, do what's necessary, put everything in the right place, and just shut up and get on with it. And I watched him do that for 42 years. When he left ICI, he received a gold watch and a reasonable pension, but they hadn't even spelt his name right after so many years. And I just watched him smoke himself into the ground, and he had no life after work, nothing. And he and Mum just sat in a box, looking at a box, waiting for a box. And I resolved then and there that that wasn't going to happen to me, and I wanted to do more with my life for my wife and my kids. Yeah. And I've tried several different ways. You can't expect to get 100% of the value for what you do if somebody else is employing you and having the ideas. So I had to find ways of earning a living using my own skills and being the person who was having the ideas. So I tried that through shop fitting. I set up a shop fitting firm. I was a hotelier, but there was no way I could ever afford a hotel. I set up a multi-level marketing business, and that went really, really well until, for some reason, people started complaining because they got in and paid £70 and they weren't millionaires next week. Well, nowhere in the world is that going to happen. So that died a quiet, strangled death when the group I was part of was dismantled. And so I went back to driving wagons for a living, and I was driving for somebody else, having had my own small agency, and you just know that it's not enough. Yeah. And so I went online because my pension provision had died. We'd done enough saving, and we were looking at having no pension and having a house that was our pension. So we sold the house to live. Oh, there's a bit of a flaw there because we wouldn't have had anywhere to live in. So I went online, and I knew that somewhere online I could make a living. The fact I wasn't particularly computer literate, I struggled to turn the computer on, was a bit of a challenge. But if you're determined and you've got a big enough reason why, i.e. you can see your wife working herself to death and you're doing the same, and it's not what you had in mind when you got married 26 years earlier, then it motivates you, and it motivated me to find a solution. And out of the many things that I tried, I came across Stuart Ross. And it was only when I met him and looked him in the eye that I started believing him. And I think that power of association is the most important part of anything that we do online. However distant it is, however much you say, I just want to hide behind the screen and not be involved, people don't care that you can make a huge amount of money by doing that until they believe in you. And the only way they can believe in you is when you come out from behind the screen. And that's what Stuart had the guts to do. Yeah. And when I met him that first time, I suddenly found somebody that I could tie the flags of my little home and vehicle to, you know. And all the other ventures I'd tried, I'd been doing it on my own. And here was somebody that not only was successful, he was prepared to share his success and share how he achieved that success. And realistically, he provided me with a pattern for success. Fair enough, I had to pay, but I didn't need to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
And I trusted Stuart long enough and hard enough. And that's why I'm here. That's where I'm up to. So sorry, that was a bit long-winded. And
no, that was perfect. That was great. But you're absolutely right. You have to find someone that you trust, and sometimes you have to look them directly in the eye to find that trust. And it's hard to look somebody in the eyes when they're hiding behind a curtain, like you said. So, for someone to trust you, you got to come out from. You got to take that plunge and be uncomfortable for a little while until you get people to start knowing who you are and trusting you.
Hugely uncomfortable. And one of the biggest attractions with internet marketing was you don't have to sell. But I think the most important thing I learned from Stuart was, no, you don't have to sell, but people still have to learn to trust you and to get to know you. Does that kind of make sense? And they are buying you. They're not buying anything else. They're buying a trust and a belief in you. And that's massively different. I don't believe that there's many people out there, I don't care what walk of life they've come from, if they know why, they will find out how. Yeah. And everybody has the ability to do this. Everybody has the ability to build any sort of business brick by brick by brick, if they have a big enough reason. And it's enabling people to find that reason and enabling people to then clarify what they want, and you show them a way and they will work miracles. Yeah. And Jill talks about people changing. I've seen people come into this who you wouldn't think would ever do anything. And I go back to, I think I may have told you about Debbie in the past, a single mum with 5 kids. I showed a business opportunity to her in a tower block in the middle of Birmingham. She had odd slippers on. She came in, her hair was all over the place, and I thought, what the bloody stomach pills am I doing here? And this woman didn't have a pot. She didn't have anything. But I went through the motions and I gave her the information and I said, I'll come back in 2 days to collect it, not thinking that she would have even opened it. I'm just wasting my time. There's £10 of the follow-up kit that I've just lost. And I went back, and in 2 days, she'd got the right colour slippers on, she'd washed her hair, the kids were put away, and she had a reason why. Yeah. She'd lost her husband, she had no skill, she didn't have any money. I gave her a few catalogues and an order pad thinking, well, that's the last I've seen of those. Within 90 days, she'd built a business.
Wow.
And she
you
was
gave her
Pearl.
An opportunity, that's why she could
see. She was
see.
Pearl in 6 months, she went Emerald in 9.
Wow!
That's 30 grand a year. Now, I looked at her and I wouldn't have given her the time of day.
Can't tell.
But she had a need.
Yeah. And you filled it. You
and
brought
I
her a
was able to give her an opportunity.
Yeah.
And that still sends shivers down my spine because you don't know. But everybody has the ability. I defy anybody to come into this with a big enough reason why not to be able to achieve something.